afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, November 15, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call and all the rest tonight at a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. What is it on who we think we are? You know, we use that term a lot, that statement. Who we think we are. And all the arrows point, for the most part, to the ego. And that has some truth to it. But it's not a very big truth. It's a smaller truth, which only castrates our ability to expand into love, trust, and feeling of oneness. Once we comprehend that ego is a fear-based program that is based in the opposite experience of trust. Whenever we are living in trust 24 hours a day, we start accessing all the wisdom and knowledge known to all the saints, masters, and enlightened beings, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. We step into the greatest experience of our life. We find our real true selves. And we know that we are the real masters of our destiny. It's basically surrendering all this stuff that we carry, you know, how we've been programmed, our viewpoints, perceptions, you know, attitudes. It's all been done in the programming, since these bodies, as I've said, are so emotional. We absorb that stuff, and we carry it with us, and we follow it. So once we know that ego is a fear-based program, it's basically the polar opposite in the experience of trust. So we know, okay, so if you're an ego, you're going to have fear-based stuff, okay? Doesn't have to be earth-shattering, could be just small underlying situations, whatever. Or it could be huge. And once we identify that, we say, okay, I'm in the ego, and this is why I'm feeling this fear. So I've decided to switch direction and focus on trust. Number one is trusting yourself, without doubt. And once you start doing that, fear fades off into the sunset. As soon as we go back into ego, it's kind of neat because it gives you it sets things up for us. Once we become aware to a certain extent, we can identify that and say, oh, I'm an ego mind. This is why I'm feeling this way. So it's just not out of irritation, okay? Not out of anger. You observe and comprehend and say, okay, so I'm going to shift into trust. Now, when we know our real nature, we can allow life to play its ego personality role through us and somehow not get in the way. See, we get in the way, then we're entrenched in it. If we don't get in the way, we just let it pass through us. And we can just sit back and go with the flow and enjoy the ride. And we can remain fascinated by this life, learning how we are here to serve others, take care of our body, and simply let the all-intelligent life force move through us. The state of perpetual enjoyment of life This is real mastery. When we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects of this life. We allow a greater love to always guide our course and help us live with ease and grace in every way. A lot of us at times in this life will feel heavy. Not so much, not like you're carrying a sack of bricks, but it's an energy, a frequency of heaviness. And the reason that is because we're too immersed in the world of the ego mind, which is the material physical. You may have experienced it where you have nothing and it's the lightest you've ever felt. You know what I mean? You don't have anything. You aren't paying rent, you don't have bills, you don't have any, it's all gone, and you feel really light, almost to the point like a feather where you could fly. And that teaches us that when we immerse ourselves in material physical, so you replace, you build back up, right? But you also know that you aren't interested in stepping in it. Sure, you enjoy it, but you aren't interested in stepping in it. In other words, in ego mind comes what? Attachment to things and every people, all kinds of stuff. And what's another one? Expectations. Now, when we do that, some of us, it's not like we do it on purpose. It's a knee-jerk response. We're so used to it. It's so ingrained into us. So we get heavy. And we get immersed and seduced into the material physical world. And then when it happens, we also start getting attached and we start forming expectations of certain outcomes and happenings. And this is why we suffer. One might say, so does that mean that ego mind is suffering? Yes. And heart mind is joy. Yes. But it seems like ego mind and material physical world is a lot more exciting than heart mind. How so? Well, there's so many, ego mind and material physical, there's just so many things going on and this and that and everything, experiencing this. It just seems like heart mind, you just sit and stare and you just exist. That's the only way we can master the ego mind, our thoughts, and stay in the now, the heart mind. And we have a choice, see, because then you start to see the difference between the two. Some people say, hey, I'm good with ego mind. Okay, well, that's their choice. Now, when you think about it, and it's your decision, we've had thousands of lifetimes in ego mind, right? We all have. Now, right now, it doesn't mean, like you don't remember it, but you will. And we've had that experience and exposure through physical material, these bodies, as gods in these bodies for a long time. It's not our first rodeo by far. Doesn't it make sense that after an extended period of time incarnating, that we get to the point where we say, okay, now, out of curiosity, let's go into a higher frequency. let's practice going into the ego, out of the ego mind into the heart mind. We know what ego mind is. All of us do. In fact, we're experts at the ego mind. Reason we are is because we've lived it for so long. Not negative, not from a negative standpoint. It's just an awareness of saying, wow, cover the gambit on this. And then we switch gears and we start embracing the heart mind. It's new to us. Brand new. We really never have been there before. Oh yeah, maybe, once in a great while we step into it inadvertently. But in the long run, we've never really embraced it. The now. And why is it there? Why is the heart mind there? So we can master the ego mind and our thoughts. Then we're never in our own way. We just sit back and float. You know why? Because we have trust, faith, and confidence in ourselves and this universe at 100%. And it never drops below that no matter what goes on. And we've chosen to stay in 24/7 gratitude. It's a state. It's not like sitting around, whatever you're doing, constantly repeating how grateful you are. You move yourself into a state. And you exude gratefulness with yourself, with this universe, with all life. And that's huge. So you figure that you go, I'll be in the heart mind, I'll be practicing the heart mind through meditation. And eventually you'll just be in heart mind. And what will meditation be? Meditation will be peace. Meditation is a form of prayer. It's also a form of enlightenment. Why don't we just have it all built in? We don't have to meditate or anything, and we just push a switch and boom, there it is. How would we learn? That's the danger of that. Purpose is that everything that we're in this very now moment experiencing, we created it. You don't come to these meditations, listen to them, because you have to. You do it because you want to. That's it, period. It's not, I think some people believe it's like church. You feel guilty if you don't go to church. It's not like that. It's just that you've chosen to do that. You've chosen to immerse yourself more into meditative state so that you can master the ego mind. It's the only way you can do it. By being in a meditative state like we do every day, in the now, through the heart mind. And we just keep practicing it till it becomes automatic. Now, the majority of us are in different avenues and areas and, quest of some kind, shape, form, or another, and we really don't know who and what we are. Not from the deepest level. We don't know that we are omnipotently supreme beings that never die, that are in these bodies. See, we don't connect with any of that. This is why so many of us you look at something simple, and you look at it through the heart mind, you say, wow, this is really great. It's really simple. It's comprehensible. It's with ease. And then when you look at it through the ego mind, it becomes an absolute complicated bucket of goop. It's because our ego mind, we complicate things through the ego mind. We simplify things through the heart mind. And we know this. You could have everything, right? But if you don't deeply and eternally love yourself, you have nothing. That's the variance. It's the comparison. It's the being alert and awake to those variables. See, now the ego mind, it's going to tell you different ways that you've got to stay over here. This is where you belong. And it'll make you feel guilty and fear, and stress, and anxiety. On the other hand, you're saying, okay, this is ego mind. You know, ego mind, you're not in charge here. I love you, but you're not in charge here. And then you'll switch to heart-mindedness. And then we become this state of perpetual enjoyment of life. And this is real mastery. See, this is where we're going. When we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects from all forms of ego identification. We enjoy all aspects of life. We allow greater love to always guide our course and help us live with ease and grace in every way. What is that for us? It's the God that we are. It's the kingdom of God. It's the heaven. Isn't it amazing how things have been portrayed throughout the ages to this civilization? And of course, it's deep-seated. It's ingrained in our civilization to believe these certain things. But all along, the God that we are is about ease, grace, joy, bliss, peace, benevolence, tranquility. And all along, we're out there searching for it, out there. You're going to find it. You'll find it in a book, or you're going to find it somewhere. Now, how effective has that been for the civilization? Pretty much not much at all, because where did we end up? But in a way, we woke up to an extent where we recognize pure evil. We identified it. We begin to know what it is, what it's connected to. And pure evil is connected to what? Ego mind, not heart mind. This is where the aggression and protection and manipulation and dishonesty, all these things come from with pure evil, which is supremely guided by ego mind. What would happen if we were to remove ego mind from pure evil? Interesting question, isn't it? I mean, completely remove it so it wasn't there anymore. Would there be pure evil? No, it would not exist. It wouldn't exist. It shows you how powerful the ego mind is. One might say, why do we have evil? Why? How come we why do we need evil? We create evil so that we can compare evil with good. That might sound strange to some of us, but it's what us gods do. We've got to know both sides, see? It becomes very disjointed if we just look at one side. We're on the edge of the coin, all right? It's a balancing act. The edge of the coin is the third side of the coin. You've got heads and tails, right? That's the yin and yang. And what we do is we walk in between the two. Can become dicey at times, a little sticky, But that's what we're doing. We balance on the edge of the coin as the third side, in between the yin and the yang. We view it, when we become very masterful, from the third side of the coin, we view it. We view both sides at once. And this is how we experience, we learn how to create. And once we get to a certain stage of comprehension, our thoughts are all about creation, deep eternal love, joy, bliss, happiness. Doesn't it make sense that when I say we serve each other, I'm not talking about slaves or anything like that. I'm talking about knowingly, willingly, and able-body-wise, we serve each other or help each other. Why would we do that? Because we're serving ourselves. This is a bunch of drops of water. And we continue to serve ourselves. And we serve each other as we serve ourselves, because that's how we serve ourselves. You see, and then ego mind starts to fade, because you haven't spent any time in the ego mind. You've gotten to the point where you're in heart-mindedness most of the time. Okay? Deep gratitude. You're always gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself. So, you see what I mean, the transition? We're all making it. It's not like we aren't. Even talking about it's halfway there. You know, when you don't recognize something or you don't identify with something, and you don't talk about it, then it's not going to be there. Are we all guilty of anything? You know what the answer to that is? 0. No, not at all. Where does the guilt come from? The ego mind. Why? Because ego mind is very insecure. Very insecure. And it's looking for peace, but it doesn't think peace exists. Isn't that a conundrum? Gagaji's, he made a good quote. It's, the choiceless truth of who you are is revealed to be permanently here, permeating everything, not a thing, and not separate from anything. What does that really mean? Well, we are all part of a divine orchestra of spiritual energy and consciousness. Now, this divine orchestra of spiritual energy and consciousness is happening all around us, all of the time. Now, we aren't always aware of it because our minds are so distracted and busy with those all too important things of this physical world. It's only when everything stops. I believe we've all had this happen more than once. From some seemingly random event that we are thrown back to our real selves. and can see, feel, and taste the true bigger picture. In a few brief moments, the mind drops its game, and we understand how divinely perfect everything is. And it's basically all of this is a choice of discovery. That's what it's all about. We're finding out on our own, with the gods that we are, cosmic consciousness, we're finding out who and what we are. It's ironic because we enter these bodies and we don't have a clue. None of us do. So we get programmed and we go off in this life, experience things, creating all the time, our entire life. It's amazing, isn't it? Yet, the majority of us do not comprehend that. We don't know that. And on top of it, see, we begin to realize that we know that we have the very moment. All of us do. We have the very moment. We do not have anything else. We know that moment to moment is what we have. Now, many people, beings, it's kind of like this. To not value the gift of a human incarnation is like trading a diamond for a head of cabbage. Vedic sage statement. The ultimate connection we all have with all beings, no matter whether they are dead or alive, goes beyond all comprehension, understanding, and rationalization. That moment was so perfect when you discover in time and space that only the word synchrodestiny can explain it. The divine perfection of this universal orchestra is always on a perfect beat. It never skips. It's continuously humming along, exploding into even more perfection. Especially when we're in a bad mood and cannot see it, how or where it is happening, we are always within the womb of this universal being. Always connected with everyone, everywhere, in every dimension of time and space, all the time. When we open ourselves up to this possibility, then each moment we are able to see the real truth. We know how every moment can only be a spiritual merging experience of universal synchronicity and our soul's destiny. And you choose, you choose to open your mind and heart to feel the connection with someone you know or would want to know who is very dead or very alive. So you reach out to that wild free being who is somewhere in this universe. Just do it as an exploration to possibly awaken that same wild free being within you. Just pick anyone who your heart would have to stretch beyond its normal limitations to open up and connect with them. Invite the special person into your heart space. Imagine that this individual is here now, fully available to be with you, only you, in this moment. You can drop the doubting, skeptical mind by just focusing on the vibration and feeling of trust. And then you allow your heart to relax into the experience and reach into the emotional connection you most wish to have. Now, I believe if you just practice this for even a few minutes, you'll be surprised to find out that something magical starts to happen and open up. You may not realize the depth of the magic which arises initially, yet stick with it. Because for wherever attention goes, energy flows. Whatever experience you have is what was destined to happen. Anything can happen, as we all know, from just this simple intention and practice to break through the limitations of our doubtful, time-bound mind. The inner journey you'll have is completely worth it in the end. So enjoy it. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return and close us out. Easy breath. Slow in through the nose. And an easy, slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Focus on your breath rising and falling, relaxed into the body. The tomato falls from the vine when it's ripe, and the butterfly emerges from the cocoon when its wings are strong enough to fly. When you are fully ripe, then you're willing to trust 100% in the divine timing of this life. This is the most beautiful moment because you will start to relax and begin enjoying everything. You'll know everything you desire in this life is manifesting as perfectly and quickly as it possibly can. The rose flower wouldn't be so perfect if it was rushed to blossom any faster. You also would not be as perfect if your healing happened any faster. Divine timing is behind everything. It's guiding every atom in this universe and every newborn baby into existence. Let go of your ego's time agenda and watch how your entire being starts blossoming wide. It feels so good to know this truth. For when you say yes to the perfection that exists in every single moment, this entire universe celebrates you. Every little single situation is cosmically orchestrated to gift you this grand and glorious coming home to all there is perfect timing. And believe it or not, you're the nucleus of that timing. You create that timing since you're part of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, following morning. And we will return here tonight, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. And Saturday, November 16, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on out there or in here, open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.